Hi friends, welcome to Harmony Hills Home and Garden. I'm Jenny and we're gardening here in Baltimore, Maryland, Zone 7. Today I wanted to talk about hydrangeas as they relate to black walnut trees. So let's take a look at what's going on here at Harmony Hills near our walnut trees. So we talked about it on this channel before. Black walnut trees put out a chemical in their root zone called juglone. And many plants in the garden are very sensitive to that chemical and will suffer, not thrive, and or even die if they're subjected to that chemical in their root zone as well. So there are some plants that you cannot put near black walnuts. And there are other plants that are not sensitive to it and they'll do just fine near black walnuts. And so our property here has black walnut trees all over it. We've got a half acre, and I would guess, if I had to guess, I'd say we have 10 to 15 black walnut trees spread across our land here. So we definitely have to worry about black walnut trees as they relate to our plants, shrubs, and small trees that we put into our gardens. So over on the north side garden that I've showed you before, we have 2 black walnut trees, one on either end of that shade garden. And so I've been really focusing on finding plants for that shade garden that can accommodate the black walnuts. But honestly, I have kind of forgotten to care about that issue when I'm out in other parts of the property. And it's coming back to bite me. And I wanted to share with you a little bit about what's going on with some hydrangeas that I have. I was out here having my morning coffee, sitting down here on our platform deck, and just enjoying the show and looking at how things are coming along, as I do on mornings. And I was looking at this hedge of hydrangeas that we have behind the deck. And these are all Let's Dance Rave hydrangeas, which are supposed to have really vivid blooms, either purple or pink, depending on what your soil pH is. And some of them do. There are 3 of the hydrangeas here, and this one seems to be doing really well. It's got lots and lots of blossoms on it, and more coming along. It's going to be a gorgeous show. But as we go down the line, we see the middle one has way fewer stems, way fewer blossoms, and actually some of the stems are dying. And then we go to the third one, and we see even fewer stems, fewer buds and blossoms, and more stems are dying. So as I was sitting here with my coffee, looking at these hydrangeas, wondering what is going on, why is one of them so much stronger than the others, I also noticed that there's a black walnut tree very close to where we are. Here we are with the deck, and right there is a black walnut tree. And in fact, we're covered by its canopy on this deck right here. So we're definitely within the root zone of a black walnut tree when we're sitting here. And this shrub, the one that's doing the worst, is closest to the black walnut. This one is a little bit further away. And this one, I would say technically might be outside the root zone of the black walnut tree. So this is a really clear example, I think, of what's going on with that juglone chemical in the soil. These are macrophylla hydrangeas. They are one of the varieties of hydrangeas that do not tolerate juglone very well. Hydrangea arborescens are reported to be able to tolerate juglone, and that's why I've put in it, let's see, what was it? I put in an Invincible Mini Mauvette up in the north side shade garden, because that is an arborescens hydrangea, and arborescens hydrangeas are supposed to be able to withstand the juglone chemical. But the macrophylla ones, they're not. So I think that's what I have going on here. I think that the one hydrangea that's doing so well over here on my left is far enough away from the tree that it's not being affected, while the other 2 are ever closer to that walnut tree, and they are being affected. So I'm going to keep my eye on it. I'm going to maybe baby these other 2 a little bit more and see if I can get them to rebound a little bit. But if not, I think I'm going to have to transplant them to a spot in the garden somewhere where they're not near a black walnut tree. So I guess that's all I had to share with you today. It's always a learning process, this thing about, what grows well in what conditions and so forth. You have to balance water, you have to balance sunlight, but you also have to balance proximity to other things and how they're going to affect your plants. So always a learning process. Thanks for joining us today. Let me know in the comments if you have any experience with black walnut trees. What have you found happens with your plants? Do you have some kind of plants that really thrive and others that don't? There are a lot of resources online where you can find lists of plants that can tolerate them and lists of plants that are sensitive to it. And I've been using that as a guide for my planting this season. But honestly, like I said, sometimes I have forgotten that there are black walnut trees outside that one area, and there are other places in the yard as well. So anyway, let me know in the comments how you're doing with black walnuts, or if you have experience, or if you have successes and failures, what you've learned over the years about yours. So thanks for joining. If you like what you see here, go ahead and subscribe. We'd love to have you come back on a regular basis. And that's it. Have a great day, friends. I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.